Hey, this is Angie, your extreme encourager, coming to you for the five. This is my last day for the Tis the Season to be eaten, and just talking about what's next up on the menu. But really, I wanted to talk about what happened on Thanksgiving, since I was talking about all the gluten-free eating and different things like that. Just to be mindful of what's going in your body and things like that. But I had a great Thanksgiving. I had awesome family who actually took the time to figure out and ask questions about what I could have and what I couldn't have. And I got text messages and instant messages about, can you have this and can you have that? And so it was really nice just to know that they cared enough to figure out, break bread, pun intended. I think I mentioned that last time, together and just have a good time. I had my hubby made mac and cheese with the roux from other than wheat flour. We had coconut flour or almond flour, one of the two. As long as he did it. I had another cousin who went out their way to make the special sweet potato, mashed sweet potato dish, as well as like a twice baked potato. My cousin, my younger cousin, made apple tarts from scratch to make sure it was gluten free. Ingredients, and my other cousin made, I just love it. It's called pretzel salad, and it sounds so healthy, but it's really a dessert. And she used gluten-free pretzels, and everything else is just still stuff that's going to be regularly gluten-free anyhow. And just to have the people care enough to make sure I could have stuff that I can enjoy, and not be offended. It was like, oh, did you have such and such? I'm like, no. I don't know how it's made. I don't know what's in it. So I'm not taking any chances in eating anything. But, they weren't offended. No harm, no foul. Although I still looked at certain things like, I want some. I really, really want some. But couldn't have it. So, but it gives me incentive to make things of my own. And even I, the domestically challenged chick, baked my apple crisp. Allrecipes.com is an awesome site. And sometimes all you need to do is change the recipe out. So instead of regular wheat flour, I had my King Arthur gluten-free multi-purpose flour. So I went to town with that and oatmeal, quick oatmeal, coconut palm sugar, and organic apples and cinnamon. Like I said, domestically challenged chick could go in there and get into the kitchen and make some good stuff. And I even shared it with the family, and they're still here. So as a plus side, so thankful they're here after trying some. So always count your blessings. But one of the things just to think about is when you're having events or being with family and people care enough to actually go that extra mile. I'm non-celiac gluten sensitive, gluten intolerant, insensitive, whichever one you call it. But it still has a really bad effect if I have it. I get migraines, as I mentioned before, and really, really, really horrible headaches that aren't migraines but can feel like it. And also my face breaks out. I think I got gluten some time ago, and I'm still recovering somewhat because facial explosions or whatever. You may think you take them for granted. And, acne or seborrheic dermatitis or that kind of thing. But it really is actual reaction to food. So one of the things I just want to make sure, again, 'tis the season to be eaten. And we're still going to have other, events and holidays that are coming up, that centers around food and celebrations and things like that. Be mindful of how it makes you feel. Be mindful of how you can actually prepare yourself to make sure you have your own food that you can bring with you and still congregate with family and friends. So like my hubby, I said, made mac and cheese, really cheesy macaroni. So if you're not doing dairy, may not be the one thing you want. But if it's not a big deal for you, mac and cheese was awesome. And it went quite well. No one realized that it was actually gluten-free. Good food is good eating. Good eating, whether it's gluten-free or anything else, is really immaterial as long as it's done well. So one of the things I wanted to share, again, I had awesome mac and cheese. And it was just really, really good. And you can share with family, you can share with friends, you can share a lot of the stuff that you don't think you can, simply by changing some of the ingredients. And if you are definitely a celiac kind of person, you definitely know you need to have it in a very clean kitchen so you don't have issues with cross-contamination. And so that's the other thing people don't realize is cross-contamination. I mean, I tease my hubby. He's like, I want some dessert. I was like, I want some cheesecake. I was like, I can't help you, man. Cross-contamination. Can't do that for you. So, but he ended up getting his own dessert, but he enjoyed himself as well because he's not really a dessert eater. But I did stare at the cheesecake a little bit as well. But don't know how the crust was, cross-contamination, different things like that. But knowing that your family cares enough to take care of you and ask about your preferences, it makes you a warm feeling. And the other thing is you need to also be aware of some of your own preferences and only your own allergies. And some of them are going unrealized. There are things that you take for granted. You get swollen and you just think that's normal. It may not be. So one of the things I want to talk about, at least definitely next month, still in the health range, because it does impact how you can actually perform at work. When you can't think well, when you can't perform well, when you can't concentrate, it impacts your ability actually to show your best self. It impacts your ability to show up and be present and do what you know you can do because you don't feel well. So the month of December, I'm actually going to talk about, planning some things about going and doing your gluten-free type of thing. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it can be expensive. Sometimes it can take a lot of planning, especially if you have kids and your own family. Do you really want to sit there and prepare 2 different meals? Do you even have the budget in a room to do that kind of thing? Not really. So the month of December kind of thing is really about your gifting yourself and making a plan for you to prepare a trial and error, if you will, about going gluten-free. So one of the things, hey Kira, so one of the things I want to talk about and definitely plan for December and take some time and even put some checklists and things and share with you is how do you plan, if you really want to give it a shot, to do a gluten-free kind of thing. Because again, if you're the main person who does the cooking, and I already mentioned I'm not domestically challenged and all that stuff, but I do a lot of eating. I always do a lot of eating. But you want to actually make a good plan that you can actually test out how you feel if you take out your gluten from your diet and see how you feel. And some of it is not just, you could start simply by not doing sandwiches, doing more salads, but you also don't want croutons. You want to start something that you can maintain. So I want to put things together and make a plan to share how you can actually do something and test it out. So sometimes you may think, maybe you're bigger than you want to be. But sometimes it may not even be that you really are fat. It could just be swollen. And I'm actually going to make sure I'm going to prep some things in advance to actually show some more before and afters. If you are friends with me, my name, on Facebook is Anggie Watkins, Anggie Watkins. And I have a whole diary of just getting healthier, getting smaller. I want to share from the Rashi Matrix standpoint of you may not be fat. You could be swollen. And some of the stuff that just like, when your fingers are getting big, you may be reacting to food. You may be reacting to gluten. That ring doesn't fit like it used to after you ate something, or you just feel like it would and swole up. Now you can't even get it off. You could be having a reaction and being swollen. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? So one of the things in the month of December, from the 4/12, Monday to 12/4, Monday, December 11th, and Monday, December 18th, I'm going to go about sharing some tips about how you can actually plan. Because if you're thinking about, setting up some stuff for the new year, I'm going to be realistic. Some of the stuff when you're changing your diet is not cheap. It's not cheap. Not even going to lie to you like that. It's not cheap, but it is worth the investment. And some of that stuff is, thanks, Kira. I did change a lot. My face went from round to oval. It's still oval, There's still some things I probably, like I said, got gluten. I'm still trying to get out of my system. But the thing is, you can simply be swollen. And even if it's not gluten, you may be having another food allergy that actually is impacting you. So, like, even if it's TMI, once I started getting healthier and I had something, I found out my fingers wouldn't bend as well, neither would my toes would bend as well. And it's like I had pain in my joints. And it was because of something that I ate. And sometimes it's gluten, sometimes it's sugar, sometimes it could be some other stuff. People, you take advantage like a peanut allergy or something like that when you have an anaphylactic shock and, might need some things. But there are things you can do. Hey, Monica, there are things you can do to help you be healthier. And the thing is, it really could be that in some aspects, you're swollen, not fat. And if you kick out certain foods or prepare them a little differently, because sometimes it might be the ingredients that you're using, you're having a reaction. So like one of the things I found out is like my eyes were puffy. I didn't realize it at the time because I have big eyes. I normally naturally have big eyes. But then when I look at some of my before and after pictures, and again, feel free, you can go to Anggie Watkins. They are public. But I'm going to specifically share them in December and put some really clear before and afters together. So you can see sometimes it really is a reaction to food and you are swelling. In addition to many calories. But some stuff is really swelling because I went from 85 pounds. I got rid of 85 pounds like in like 8 months. And some of that some of it was food changes. But some of that stuff is because the food was changing. I wasn't as swollen. Drinking more water gets rid of certain things. And definitely kicking the gluten thing. I went from having cheek real estate to actually having cheekbones. Actual bones like right in there that I could see. So it wasn't all the big cheekies like, yeah. It went from actually having a actual cheek and line, everything. So some of the things that you think is normal, some of the things you think is natural, some of the things like, oh, I'm just that way. You're swollen. I'm gonna tell you now, you're swollen. So one of the couple of things I'm gonna do in December is put together some ideas and suggestions for if you really want to actually do a test. Here are some basic things you can do. A little hint about, changing what you have, what you eat, changing the bread. I'm going to tell you right now, King Arthur is one of the favorite gluten-free things I have. Because some of the stuff is, I'm not going to kick off to getting all healthy immediately. Just want to show that you can actually enjoy some of the same things you normally have. And then just, hey, Ronette, I just want to make sure, hey, Ange, I want to make sure you can actually enjoy some of the foods that you normally have in a gluten-free way. It doesn't mean you give up everything. So like King Arthur has a great pancake and waffle mix. Awesome. I personally like organic grade, well, it used to be grade B, but it's grade A black maple syrup because I don't always like the high fructose and all that other stuff. I like this natural as possible. You can have spaghetti. You can actually even get like corn-based spaghetti, or just simply gluten-free spaghetti. There's some stuff made with potato starch and soy, but you can even do vegetable-based spaghetti noodles kind of thing, like with, I tried spaghetti itself with some type of vegetable. So those of you who are like awesome in the kitchen, you can actually experiment with a lot of different things. Again, if I am domestically challenged and I can do this stuff, all you people who can actually get in there and bake and burn in the kitchen can definitely go beyond everything. But I just want to make sure we just try and we want to put together a plan, because the thing is, Christmas is coming, holidays are coming, you got shopping you want to do, you have all kinds of stuff that you need to plan for. You can actually start planning for this and prepping your family for this. Not asking for a whole bunch of stuff changing around, the holidays or whatever, but you can plan for the new year and, get your mindset together, get your menu kind of together, get your plan together, as well as so you don't feel like you're going to get deprived. Eating gluten-free and even eating healthy doesn't mean you're depriving yourself. It just means you're making alternate selections. So instead of getting, the natural bakers, instead of getting wheat flour, check out almond flour. Check out coconut flour. You can check out other rice flour even. So you can actually start preparing, because one of the things I want to make sure we talk about is reading things. And other hint is, it's not just what goes in your mouth, it's not what just in your body, but what goes on top of your body. I mean, there's stuff like makeup. That's why I said it's an investment sometimes. Not sometimes. It's an investment to pay attention and take stock. Because you may get rid of one thing in one area, but you realize some people say, oh, it's not about your skin. I know I had a hair product that went in my head that had wheat in it and jacked my face up to high heaven. I couldn't move my face. I couldn't do anything. And it was just like, I was like alligator skin. And I even got discolored around my neck, thinking I had like, the vertigo or something like that. So I'm going to prepare for the month of December. Revealing, well, they're on my page personally, but I never put them together personally, just to show before and after about what gluten did to me, from hair product, makeup even, as well as just going inside. I went somewhere, I didn't have my bare minerals, and they are promoting gluten-free. There are places that will promote gluten-free products, and they said it's like gluten-free. Still jacked up my face. I believed them, unfortunately, and my face got tight, my head started hurting, because again, it absorbs in the skin and I react. So what was supposed to be a fun event was not as much fun as I intended it to be, because I ended up getting a headache. I ended up having to basically lie down. I could not continue to participate because it absorbed into my skin, because it was makeup, and just took me out for a while, and kind of shortened my fun. So everything makes a difference. Everything is going to be important, because once you actually get rid of it, it's going to be hard to put it back in your life and think that you're not going to have a reaction. My husband actually, moved some things out, like, no Kentucky Fried Chicken, that kind of thing. And then when he had it, or a biscuit, and he's like, oh, it's like a bag of butts, or whatever. That's his term, that's his phrase. But once you get rid of it for a while and get it out of your system, putting it back is not going to be easy. It's like people who, reform smokers sometimes make the worst and most annoying people. Because once you get rid of it and it's gone, you putting it back in, your body's like, oh, it's like a horrible, horrible reaction. So I'm going to be planning a lot of stuff for December. So I just wanted to share again, I had a great Thanksgiving. And I want to encourage you to really think about everything that's around you. Pay attention, like your before and afters. Like before you had this food, how were you feeling? And after you had this food, how are you feeling? I'm not talking about the itis when you get a little sleepy after certain things, but how are you feeling? How are your fingers? If you just hold your hands together and you can feel all your bones and whatnot, and later after you have something and you do the same thing and it's a little puffier, think about what you had. Maybe do a food journal, but think about what you had. Are your fingers a little tighter? Are you feeling a little swollen? Your pants, not just did you eat too much, I mean really, did you actually swell up a little bit? If you think about pasta and you put water in it, it gets, do you, after you eat, and you're not eating pasta? So I want to think about that. I want you to think about that for a little bit. And again, I'm going to plan for December. If you have any questions or ideas or suggestions, send me a comment here, send me a direct message, whatever it is. Because one of the things I want to talk about is because when you don't feel good and it's about something that you eat, you can control that. And it impacts every aspect of your life, how you interact with your job, how you interact with your family, getting moody, getting all kinds of things. And you can have a better experience just by paying a little bit close attention to what's going on in your mouth, what's going on in your hair, and what's going on in your body. So until next time, this is Angie, your Extreme Encourager. I'll check you out next live at 5. And till then, continue to pay attention to what you're eating and continue to pay attention to how you're feeling. Talk to you soon.